Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Come on, won't you say it loud? Ayo, we gon' turn this out. Tom Clark's Main Event. Drop kick now.
Hey, what is up, kids? Welcome back to the program. Tom Clark here, back with you yet again on another Friday. It is February 7th. That means a Super Bowl Sunday. Don't care about it. That means 7 days from now, Valentine's Day is here. Don't care about it. Hey, look, money scams is money scams. That's all I can tell you. It's a made-up holiday. I'm not observing it. She ain't around, is she? Don't tell her I said that. Look, it's fine. She understands. What better Valentine's Day gift could you get than me? Look at all this. Look at all this, man. You want more than this? You want this and chocolates too? Dude, in a lifetime, you're lucky to get this. You kidding me? Again, she's not around, is she? You know how you know she's not around? You don't hear any laughing. It's all right. You know what? I'm in my prime. I'm vintage. Can't nobody tell me no different. They could try. It's not going to work. How's everybody doing? That's enough of that. How's everybody doing, man? Hope you guys are having a great week. It's good to see everybody here again today. We're going to start saying hello here shortly, so everybody be prepared for that. We got the ticker ticking down below. You're tuned in to episode number 363 on your radio dial. Tom Clark's Main Event, boinkstudios.com, B-O-I-N-K, boinkstudios.com. If you've not yet smashed the like button, and I know you haven't, don't lie to me. It's not good to lie. Lord hates a liar. Smash the like button while you're here. That means loads to me. And if you will, while you're in the process of doing so, share this on your feed everywhere you can. And I'm going to remind everybody as we kick off here today, if you have not reviewed Tom Clark's Main Event on the Facebook, I'm dropping that review tab, and I'm going to be very upset if everybody here doesn't review my show. How upset, you ask? Pretty upset. I mean, there won't be any lasting ramifications if you choose not to review my show. You'll hurt my feelings. That's not cool, right? So, you know, I'm just saying. But anyway, look, the nicest thing you could do is review the show. That's all I'm saying. That'd be great. So if you could do that for me, that'd be awesome. I'm going to drop that link here shortly, and we're going to start saying some hellos here momentarily. We do have a guest this week, kids, just like we had one last week. Miss Faye Devine joined us last week, and it was quite awesome, and I appreciate her very much for joining, and we had a fun time. Always appreciate her hanging out. We do have a gentleman here with us this week that you know for sure. You've seen before. And he's going to be here with us in just a scoosh. But guess what? There's the review link. Go review Tom Clark's Main Event, or I'm not talking. I'm just going to sit here. Wouldn't that be terrible if people just tuned in? I'm just sitting there with the arms folded. You know what I mean? Whose gimmick was that? Where they did it all the time? I don't remember. I can't remember. I'm thinking Great O'Connor in New Japan when he sits on the top rope on the turnbuckle. I digress. All right, kids, let's go ahead and do this. Let's get our guest on the screen here today. Let me get the right button because it's important to get the right button. And is the right button here? There's the right button. Perhaps that's it. We'll find out. Kids, please welcome back to the program. Well, you know him as Ray All Day, also known as Ray Dean. Ray, what's up, man? Welcome back to the show.
What's up, brother? Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. Did you enjoy all my ranting and foaming at the mouth before we got started?
Well, I was too busy writing a review, so I didn't get to listen to it.
Oh, see, that's what I like about you. Kissing up is what I appreciate.
And I got to tell you, all the audience and all the fans, I'm going to throw a little spoiler. I'm sorry, Tom, I have to do this.
Uh-oh.
I was backstage. The choreographed moves of these Tom Clark dancers,
wow.
Incredible. I've never seen such precise moves and precision in my life. These girls are, Tom, you got to bring these girls out at some point. They're amazing.
I mean, they're pretty talented, and they've been training for a while. And Vicky with the wooden leg, look, Vicky puts the work in. And you wouldn't think she could kick that high, but man.
The fact that she could kick that high and do a spin on that leg, I'm like,
saying, wow. It's something else. Zach Gowen, watch out, because I mean, she got the anybody get that? She's got the wooden leg. I'm telling you, man, Tom Clark's Main Event dance. You girls go ahead and keep warming up. I'll bring you out. It may not be this week. I don't know if they're quite ready. They're getting there.
They're getting there, but I was very impressed.
Thank
Very
you.
impressed. Those girls are just wow. Like,
They'll be
wow.
glad to hear that. Look, I pay them at scale. They're getting paid. I can't afford dental, but I'm working on some Aflac plans for them.
Okay.
I'm trying to take care of them.
Okay.
So,
I
you know.
understand. You got to do what you got to do. That way
saying,
the girl was missing a tooth because she has no dental. I get it. Now it makes sense.
right. I mean, we just missed it. So maybe later we can figure something out. Let's say some hellos. Ray's not saying hello to us in the crowd because he's here this time. So, David Down Under, good to see you, my friend. We're doing great. Hope you are. JP, good to see you. JP is saying hello to our co-host here today.
What's up, Jeff?
Sugar Shane breaking some news for us. Yes, you're right. Owens has indeed signed a 5-year deal, as we probably figured he would, that he is coming back to the WWE. Black Jack Milligan here. We're doing great. Good to see you. Let's see here. Josh McManus is here as well. Belinda, good to see you, my friend. Guten Tag, Sandy in Germany. Good to see you. Sandy says yeet. Boy, let me tell you, we could talk about that a little bit here today, too. Hey, guys, everyone, please say hello to Craig Lewis. I knew Craig about 100 years ago, and he worked for me in the grocery business. Craig's awesome. Craig, you're good people, brother. It's good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well, dude. It's been a long time. Craig was a good dude, man. I enjoyed working with him. He is here. What's up, Elvis? Good to see you, man. Acknowledge the king. I don't know what king you're talking about. I'm on camera. I don't know who you're talking about right now. So, yeah, anyway. All right, look, we've got, by the way, Maria, good to see you as well. Brianne, I'm doing great. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. So, kids, I've been threatening this for a while. Ray and I have been talking back and forth in the chat a lot about the heel and face thing. And I said, you know what? Let's just quit talking about it and let's talk about it. That seemed weird. You know what I mean. Heels and faces in pro wrestling. Ray, as I told you before we went live here today, we could sit here and just rant all day about this. But high level, I want you to tell me why, in your opinion, and don't worry about what anybody else thinks, because I don't want to put words in your mouth, and I haven't asked you this. We didn't discuss it, kids. Tell me why, in your opinion, why should I care today about good and bad in pro wrestling? Tell me why I should care.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, I feel the dynamic of the heel and face gets you more invested in the character.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know who I'm rooting for and why. This guy's got no values. This guy has values. This guy is a family man. This guy hates kids. This guy will kick your dog down the street. There's got to be something that makes me either like you or hate you. To be that tweener, to be that middle guy, you just can't connect to that character. In my opinion, again, I feel like there's got to be a purpose. Like, hey, Tom, I hate you. I hate your wife. I hate your son. Everybody's booing and hating me. You're the nice guy. You shake hands with the fans. Everybody loves you. You're a good guy. That's the dynamic that I'm used to. That's the dynamic, in my opinion, works. And it generates sales. It generates interest. Like, you talk about Yeet. He's getting over. He's a face. He's connecting with the crowd. He's going through the crowd, shaking hands, getting over. He's a bona fide babyface. And it stands out and it works. But when you get these tweeners or you get these guys that are like, I can't tell, you get mixed reactions. Charlotte Flair, that was a dumpster fire. Her promo was a mess. That was a dumpster fire. I love Charlotte as a wrestler. She's an excellent worker, but that promo was horrible. Because she started off trying to come in as a face. They booed her to death, and she just automatically switched off and became a heel. It shouldn't have to be that way anymore. It should be like main event Jey Uso. You know he's coming in there as a face. So that's just my first take on this.
I mean, once upon a time, to raise credit, children, once upon a time, this is how you sold tickets. This is how you got people in the building, because people couldn't wait to see the heel get his head bashed in. They couldn't wait to see the face finally try to win the day. They couldn't wait. They meaning we. We couldn't wait to see these things happen. And, you know, I've said this many, many times over the past few months. We are losing this, especially in AEW. And again, for anyone who wants to push back on that, you are welcome to. Anyone in the chat who disagrees and says it doesn't matter, I welcome your opinions. And I want you to justify your opinions to me. defend your view. If you don't want to, you don't want to. It's whatever. But defend it to me and tell me why it doesn't matter, and we can debate it. Because to Ray's point earlier, like, if I need to know, it's important for me. I need to know who to boo and who to cheer. People say, well, I cheer the heels because, I'm smart. I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. People get too literal about this stuff. Well, I knows it ain't, so I can. Shut up. No one's saying that. I'm not saying let's not respect heel. No one says that. But dude, Ray, I don't know about you. We've never been to a live show together. I play along. I boo when I'm supposed to boo. I just play along. It's more fun that way. I don't understand this. Here comes Cena. Let's flip him off. Here comes, MJF. Let's cheer him. Whatever, man. I guess. I don't know. I mean, do you play along when you go to shows, or you just is it more about cheering the moves now?
I play along. Like if he's a face, I'm cheering. If he's a heel, I'm booing. But I'm not cheering MJF. I'm booing him. I'm cheering a guy like John Cena. I'm cheering a guy like Jey Uso. That's the way I was just raised. I got to get vested in the person and the character. And to me, it's like if I'm cheering MJF, I'm basically cheering being a scumbag. You know what I mean? I don't know. You got to have, I don't know. You got to have that dynamic. Like, hey, this guy's flipping me off, but I'm going to cheer him. Like, what?
I mean, isn't it also maybe a little, you're not giving the entertainer credit. You're not giving the guy credit for the work he's doing to get over as a heel if you're cheering him. Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
You're not respecting the work he did to make people boo him tonight. I don't know.
Yeah. If he's working so hard to get you to dislike him, at least respect his art, respect his effort, and boo him.
Yeah.
And if I'm purposely going out there and, telling everybody to shut up and I don't care about your opinions, you guys are a bunch of idiots, don't cheer me.
Yeah.
Respect my effort, like you just said, and boo me. Let's go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Talk about a guy that never gets booed. Troy Grant's here. What's up, Troy? Last time we saw Troy was on the 6 a.m. at the Christmas episode. Troy, you got to come do the main event, man. Clear your schedule on a Friday afternoon. Well, Friday night for you. Let's talk. Let me know when you can come on the show. Sandy says he cheers Owens because he's telling the truth. I mean, that's a take. C.R. Patton, thanks for coming on. Everybody knows Chris. I don't think they have decided whether Charlotte is going to be heel or face coming back or not. They have time to figure that out heading into Mania. That promo seemed like they were figuring out where they were going on their first night back since Rumble. Just my thoughts. It's good opinion. I think she'll have to be heel, Ray. I think to what you said earlier, they're not going to let her off the hook. They hate her.
Yeah, they don't like her for whatever reason. So,
I mean, if she'd come back in the Rumble and been thrown out, I don't know if she gets that kind of reaction. But she came back and won.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, here we go again. They're going to give her everything again. Like,
oh God, here we go. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. E says I'm a fan of the heels more because of the heat they get from the fans. Dirty Dom, for example, I believe he will be the face soon. I think it'd be a shame to turn that kid face because he's crushing it as a heel, man.
Crushing it.
He don't have to work too hard either.
No, he doesn't do anything. Just come in the ring. Just show up. Don't shave that mustache. Keep your character, dude.
Yeah. Well, folks, the goal here is not to go stroll down memory lane, but we're going to do a little strolling down memory lane. We're going to start off at the top with what I believe quite possibly the best rivalry of all time. Because with Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes, you get the Horsemen versus Dusty, what Tully used to call Dusty and the Risky Business Boys, because they used to come out to that Bob Seger tune. Ray, explain to me your take on why did Rick and Dusty work so well because of the heel and face dynamic? Why do you think it got over as well as it did?
It went over so well because Dusty stayed in character, the plumber, hardworking man. Everybody could relate to that. Everybody could relate to his persona. And he was always coming up short against Rick. The Four Horsemen were always against him. So he's always climbing that mountain, which in wrestling terms, that's always the face's goal, to be the guys trying to overcome something. And Flair's always trying to keep him down. So it just really worked. And Flair stayed nasty, cheated, did what he had to do to win, pulled tights, feet on ropes, typical, heel moves. And Dusty was just, always just striving. And then when he actually won, the pop he got was insane. The pop he got was out of this world. And Dusty's just that type of character. And I feel like that platform, that whole feud was perfect. If we could go back to those days, I'd be thrilled.
That feud lasted for, oh my God,
Forever.
10 years or something? Like,
At least.
dude, are you kidding me? And, you know, kids, I get it. Like, Rick got cheered at any given time with the Horsemen because they were popular. Dude, Rick never gave the fans what they wanted. He didn't do a wink at the camera and say, y'all can cheer me, it's fine. Rick was ego first, ego last. You know, hated the fans, made it known that he didn't care about anybody's opinion but the Horsemen's. And, you know, to me, Ray, that's different. Like, people cheering Rick with the Horsemen's not the same as them cheering, you know, Hangman today. And I'm like, why are we cheering Swerve, who broke into Hangman's house? What are we doing? Like, it's water under the bridge. It doesn't matter. But it's just the point of the fact of how crowds have changed now, Ray, how things have changed over the years.
It's crazy. Like, the dynamic has changed. Like you said, Hangman, you know, put Christopher Daniels on the shelf, retired him, and he's still getting cheered. Swerve burnt somebody's house down, and he's getting cheered.
Yeah.
Like, what does someone got to do to get heat?
Yeah, God. What? Yeah, what's left?
Like, what do I do? Do I have to kill somebody on live TV? Ricochet's the only one that gets pure heat because he comes across like an annoying little twit.
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
the scissors.
Ricochet. Yeah, dude, he didn't have much of a choice, honestly. I mean, Ricochet in another company is freaking Ricochet. But in AEW, he's Ricochet. Like, there's other guys that can do the stuff he does. And no disrespect to Rick at all. But there's other guys that can do a lot of the stuff that he does. So while he's still a special performer, he's kind of covered up by other guys who can do stuff similar to what he does. So, like, the only thing you could really do is turn heel. I thought it was a great move.
Fantastic move. You had to turn him heel, and it worked. You know, his character and his persona, and again, the scissors, and just the way he acts now. Like, he's really embraced it, and that's good for him.
Yeah.
And he's getting booed out of the seats. Oh, my gosh.
Man, it's crazy. But, you know, for Rick and Dusty, like, it's a different time, kids, the 80s. The yuppies were a thing, corporate American, you know, Reaganomics, and all these white dudes getting rich. Good thing that doesn't happen anymore, huh?
Yeah, I know. Eggs are what, 25 cents a dozen now, right?
15, they just dropped 15 cents again.
15
So we're good.
We're good. I'm great.
Yeah, we're good, man. That's chickens all day.
Nice.
But, you know, Rick was the corporate, he represented white corporate America, the rich yuppie, the people with money. Dusty, as you said, was the common man, son of a plumber, you know, working class guy, man of the people. That Hard Times promo belongs in the Smithsonian. It is a classic work of art. I think it should be up there with Scarface with its importance. One promo. Because to this day, when he does that, my hand is reaching out to your hand, I get chills, man. I can't handle it. Like, it's emotional for me because I grew up idolizing Dusty, and Dusty made you feel as though I can't do this without you. I can't. I need you. If you're not with me, I can't do this. You know what I mean?
100%. He was the man of the people.
Yeah.
And he really, really pulled you in. Like, hey, you got to support me, guys. I really need you. We got to do this together.
No shades of gray. No shades of gray with Dusty and Rick.
Zero.
I mean, take that, people that say you ride the fence, you can get over. Take that. No shades of gray. And they sold out one arena after another all over the world, not just the United States.
All over the world.
Whew, dude, crazy. Here's another more modern day example. And great rivalry, but different, because in this rivalry, these guys changed sides at one point. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
100%.
Dude, tell me why this is different than Rick and Dusty in your estimation.
It's different in the fact that, like you said, at the middle of it, when DX became red hot, it turned a little bit, and Shawn started getting more cheers and getting more over. And Bret became too, quote unquote, nerdy, I guess, and too, you know, do the right thing. And at that time, in that era, you know, the Attitude Era, fans didn't want to hear it. Shawn was very edgy. You know, he was doing a lot of, you know, PG-13, so to speak, stuff, and they loved it, and it was becoming very popular. So that's what changed, and then Sean Otis started getting cheers, and he had to like work hard at the end, in my opinion, to get booed. He wasn't getting that initial heat that he was in the beginning of their feud. So
man, yeah, they switched spots. It was crazy. Suddenly, within the span of like 15 minutes, Brett suddenly sounded like the cranky old man. And him and Sean were close in age, I think, but suddenly he seemed like the old
like he
veteran.
was the father and Sean was his son.
Yes.
And he was like trying to discipline him. And he was like, Dad, get over yourself.
Yeah, I mean, crazy. And, again, kids, heel and face very much in play, but things were changing. It was a different time. It wasn't the 80s anymore, and things were starting to turn. And, maybe one of the first times, with the exception of Austin, of course, that we really started to see, wait a minute, this isn't working like it's always worked. I think that really, truly affected things later on for sure. Troy says, not sure if you discussed it already in the last section, but Dusty was a natural face for the longest time. Agreed. How long before WWE turns Cody heel? I feel the shine of finish the story has worn thin by now, and it's only a matter of time before fans start to sour on him. When they do, he'll be the best heel they have.
No question.
Cody's fantastic heel. Troy knows that. When he was leading Bullet Club or in Bullet, dude, doing the ring thing, fantastic. Just him and Brandy together were just absolutely crushing it. Crushing it. Troy says he's free now. Troy, don't mess with me. Don't threaten me with a good time. I'll send you an invite right now if you want to come on.
Troy, let's go. I haven't spoke to you in a minute.
For real, Troy. If you want to come on, I'll send you an invite right now. You know what? I'm going to send you an invite right now. And if you can join, cool. And if you can't, I'll catch you on the next go around. See if we can get. Hey, man, you know what I mean. Just
let's go. I'm there.
Do what we got to do here. Let's see. Fernando says sometimes the heels do such a good job they make us cheer them like Stone Cold, The Rock, Roddy Piper, and Swerve. Great point.
Excellent point.
Can't argue that. And Fernando, when those things happen, the company, in my opinion, needs to oblige and turn that character the way they need to be turned. And Ray, we've seen in both companies, when they refuse to do that, things tend to go south.
Brutal.
And right, like, remember Austin wanted to turn heel and they said, don't. Are you kidding? And he did. And to this day, pretty sure he admits that was a mistake because it directly affected everything, the way they did business in that company. Like, he was their guy. Do you know what I mean?
He was the guy, yeah.
Man, alive.
Yeah. He's said on many podcasts he regrets it.
Yeah. CRP bringing up the Dusty Sucks. Was that Tully's shirt? It was a Great Valentine shirt. Who had that shirt that said no Funk?
I was gonna say it was one of the brothers. I didn't know it was none of the Briscoes, the Funk brothers. Yeah.
Chris will smack me for not remembering it was Terry Funk. JP says a lot of wrestlers get cheered when they come back from a long absence. Very true. A lot of them eventually go back to their nature of being a heel. Exactly right. Because most stars, when they've been on the shelf with an injury, whether heel or face, Ray, when they come back, they're going to get a monster pop of the night, which is fine. But a week or so later, if they're supposed to be heel, they're going to be heel again.
100%.
Yeah. So it works for sure. Kids, guess who's just joined up? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Untitled Wrestling Podcast, Mr. Troy Grant. What's up, Troy?
Good evening.
What's up, brother?
How we doing?
Good.
Doing good, man. Oh, my goodness. This is awesome. Thanks for hanging out, man.
An impromptu podcast, man. Thank you for having me, as always, man. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, dude. It's been, like I said, the Christmas episode.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Everyone good?
16. Yeah, man. We're good. How are you?
Good, man.
Real well. I'm off to Amsterdam in the morning to go and film some wrestling. So, just finished packing up for that.
Awesome.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I mean, since we're sharing exotic locations, I'm in the great state of North Carolina. So, exotic location. No.
I'm freezing my butt off in New York.
I was going to say, I thought they'd get bigger laughs than what it got, but I'm a little upset. That's all right.
It's cold as hell over here as well. We've had light snow all day. It's
Ooh.
knocking kind of like 1-0 degrees. So it's pretty chilly. So I'm taking my big jacket tomorrow for my holiday.
I don't blame you at all. Well, Troy, since by the way, thanks for jumping on. Look, I'm older than you, pretty sure. But the reason I say that is maybe it's a generational thing that I feel this way. Tell me if I'm wrong. In your viewpoint, am I way off base, or me and Ray way off base with the we need heels and faces part here?
In what sense? In what sense?
In the sense that fans need someone to cheer and need someone to boo. And every time you blur the lines, you're leaving them not knowing what to do. And I think it weakens the product.
I agree, but it's difficult because fans are real smart right now and have been for a while. And I think social media and stuff has played a big part in that. And it's very hard to keep things in wrestling a secret anymore. And I think long gone are the days of telling a story where here's a clear bad guy, here's a clear good guy or gal or whatever. And fans will just gravitate to the person that they enjoy watching, regardless if they are presented in a heel or face manner. And I don't think that's a recent thing. I think it's certainly become more apparent with stuff like social media and all the various outlets. But you only have to look back, and I put it in the comments, is stuff like the NWO and DX. They're essentially heel factions, but at the time they were cool. They were pop culture and people gravitated to them. And regardless of how much a story or narrative or whatever was pushed to make them, well, they are the bad guys, there's a reason people still walk around in NWO shirts now.
Mm.
True.
I mean, Troy, to your point, is the problem that when you have situations like that, the company has to produce a baby face that when that face touches them, he gets a pop. Like, no one booed Sting against the NWO. They cheered him every time he laid hands on them.
That's true. I mean, you've got that with Cody, and to the point that I put in the chat, it's, the ultimate baby face all the way up until the point that he eventually won the belt and finished the story, so to speak. And even now gets shared. But I do feel like we're on the cusp of kind of a turning point where it's just like, not to the extent where it was kind of that Roman Reigns were forcing this guy down your throat and you must like him. But it always goes back to that kind of time old thing. Well, once the face has won the championship, what have they got left to do? It's always more fun watching the chase than it is the aftermath. And a heel is always more entertaining as a champion because they do everything they can to keep it. And I feel like it's coming to that point where fans are starting to go, all right, well, we loved him as a face and we were really behind him. And yes, he was a very natural baby. Like, they didn't even need to push a narrative of that. I mean, they did, and they did very hard, but he came in and people were going to cheer for him regardless. But I do feel like it's getting to that point now where it's like, we're kind of tired of it. And I think not just in terms of them kind of like presenting him in a certain way, but I also think kind of that narrative, the storyline. I mean, for me, I wouldn't have been against KO beating him at Mania in the ladder match. And even if they sort of hot potato the belt between now and Mania from the Rumble, I just think there needs to be something, at least in Cody's like current storyline, where they just go, actually, we've kind of forced it a bit too much. Let's pull back on it. Let's try and put that stock back in him some more that they had before he won the belt.
I appreciate your take. It's interesting because I look at the work they put into getting him to the title. And part of me says, God, that's so much work to get him there. For him to drop that belt, it better be something big. And it shouldn't be, no disrespect to KO, it shouldn't be just a random KO because he's pitching a fit, because that's his gimmick. He pitches a fit like a toddler. And that's fine. It works. He does that little half scream where he's getting all beside himself. But, like, I don't know if that's the guy to beat him. Like, if you're going to beat Cody, it needs to be somebody big. But I don't know, man. There's so much. That company's so different than AEW, as we all know, because their top guy, it visits every talk show, every local news affiliate. He's on the nationally syndicated talk shows. He's making the press, what newspapers are still happening. He's getting all the social media, all the podcasts. I mean, the media weeks for Cody are insane. And he's expected to be the face. Yeah.
It's the John Cena role. And I think he even came out and said that in an interview not long ago. He's in that role now where it's just like, there isn't a day off, and he's doing everything. But to your point, okay, maybe it isn't or shouldn't be KO that takes it off him. If not him, then who? Because that program of KOs seems to have been. I mean, I feel like this was the full stop on it at the Rumble, but that seems to have been going for quite some time. Who else is at that level that steps in now to a program with Cody? I mean, obviously the fallout of the Rumble, there's numerous people, and we'll see how the Elimination Chamber goes. But I don't know. I feel like the Elimination Chamber is kind of okay, well, this guy's won it. They're going to challenge Cody, and after Mania, that's it. Whereas an actual story with longevity, that is what it feels like it has been with KO. Who do you put into that position? Or is it just a series of kind of one-off matches, or are we going to get anything of any real kind of length?
Ray, what do you think about that? Who do they have right now they could plug in that could conceivably and make sense and not, honestly, I'm going to say not hurt. I think Cody can be hurt if they do this incorrectly. What do you think?
100%. And to your point, Troy, I feel like with Kevin Owens, how he attacked Sami Zayn, that's a total heel angle. People hated him at that moment. He hurt the love Sami Zayn. Everybody loves Sami Zayn. He gets over like anybody, like nobody's business. That was my idea of a good heel, staying heel and embracing it. We don't get that a lot. Like now it's such a fence riding thing. Like I can't tell. I'm like, what is going on? Seth Rollins attacked Roman Reigns, who's supposedly a face because they love him, but yet he's cheering Sammy. So I'm like, do I boo him? Do I hate Sammy? Do I like Seth? I don't know.
And I've heard people push back on that, seeing things but Tom, they're on camera at the same time. What do you expect? They're always going to have hate. And I'm thinking, they didn't end up on camera because this is real. They had them on camera because the company wanted them on camera. They don't have to be on camera together. Like, right? If you want this guy to be heel, make him be heel. Keep him away from the other heel he has heat with. You don't have to put them on camera together. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. I you're right, Troy. I think social media has affected a lot of it. But to this day, I think with AEW, and again, they just got $185 million, so what do I know? But at the same time, no one can tell me that company, their product hasn't suffered because a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe not two, they started blurring those lines, man. And suddenly you're looking at the guy beside you going, I thought she was heel last week.
Yeah.
I pointed this out last week. Oh, gosh, and I can't remember his name. The guy
AR Fox.
AR Fox, thank you.
I got
Came out and, he worked Swerve, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He worked
and
Swerve
heel.
And
he's coming out doing this. The typical, I'm going to hit you thing. And then the next week, who did he work, Ray, the next week?
He worked Ricochet.
Also
he comes out going, come on, guys. It's me.
High five.
Yeah, like, hang on. Who was this guy last week then that was...
It's not on Fox. It's what they told him to do. But to their point, they're like, it doesn't matter. This week you're heel. Go. I don't know.
Basically, like, pick a lane. Choose a struggle.
Yes. I mean, Troy, maybe I'm just blowing this out of proportion, but I firmly, truly believe in my heart of hearts that the booking issues in that company directly stem from their lack of cohesive storytelling with heels and faces. Like, boo Hangman. No. Cheer him. No. Boo him. And then Tony Storm, same thing.
Put him with MJF. Let's have these two heels combat each other. So now one of them has to be the face.
The other night when Hangman ran in and chased out Max.
Yeah.
And then MJF looked, oh, you're a hack anyway. I'm like, what are you doing? What was that? Like,
that was horrible.
I don't know, dude. Again, yeah. Troy, if I'm blowing it out of proportion, I'm blowing it out of proportion.
No, I agree. It's a weird thing. There's very few occasions, and you'll probably be able to think of one quicker than I can, where a heel versus heel dynamic works or has worked. It's few and far between, and it at the moment it really feels like it just muddies the waters, and you're like, who am I meant to be cheering for? I know I can cheer for who I want, but if you're trying to tell a story here, give me some clear directive and some clear signposting as to who's good and who's bad. And like over here, like you guys still have WWE on Peacock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So over here it's on Netflix. So it's like it's opened it up to such a wider base of casual fans or people that watched it 15, 20 years ago, or didn't have access to it and this, that, and the other, or people that have even never watched it and are just like, oh, do you know what? I just started watching. Oh, it's really good. And so I've got like conversations at work with people that I didn't even realize like wrestling. But for people like that have come into it very new and very fresh, it's sending a really weird message as to there's meant to be good guys and bad guys. This is meant to essentially be pantomime. And for someone that's never watched it before, that now has access that instantaneously on something like Netflix that they already had, it's like, what message are you sending to them? You could watch a sitcom, a soap opera, a drama, or whatever, and you know who these good guys and bad guys and gals and characters are, and you watch that now, and it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't know, and I'm someone that watches it all the time. So what does that say to a casual fan?
Well, when I hear defenders of that mentality say, yeah, Tom, but real life has shades of gray, I'm like, this is not real life. None of this is real.
None of this is real.
I don't know what you mean. Like, oh my God. I don't know. Like, I don't need my pro wrestling to be The Boys. I just don't need it. I need my heroes to be heroes. I don't need them to be weird, sinister behind the scenes. You know what I mean? I need my villains to be villains. I don't need them. Oh, he's got a good heart, but he's despicable. Screw that. I need guys to be.
Exactly. If you're watching WWE for the first time, you'd be like, wait a minute, I thought Seth was the face. Why is he attacking Roman? It would make no sense.
Hang on. He's attacking a guy that everyone's cheering, but then when Seth comes out, everyone sings his song like he's the good guy and they love him. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
He's singing his song, but he's attacking the tribal chief,
who you're also cheering and throwing your ones up for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You're cheering and throwing your ones up for it. So where's the line? I don't get it. So I mean, I hate to say it, like AEW does it almost all the time, but WWE, unfortunately, I feel like they're going down that path too, because that was really weird.
Yeah, and look, guys, and we'll move on to the next thing here. But like, if I'm so wrong, someone explain to me why every single week for AEW, and I'm not talking about the haters. People have been wanting that company to fail since they started. I'm not one of them. I enjoy that company. I want them to succeed and make as much money as possible and everybody there to get over. I'm not going to stop watching because of my opinion of the heel and face thing. I enjoy watching the show. It's just, it makes me crazy. But like, if I'm so wrong, when we criticize AEW, I rarely hear anybody say, I don't understand it. The storylines are so awesome. I don't know why the viewers are slipping. Most of the time it's, man, you know why no one's watching? Because this crap don't make sense. Look, maybe I'm in the wrong places online, but that's all I keep reading and hearing.
Make it make sense.
Exactly.
That is a common thing that I hear, and I've started watching WWE more now just because it's more accessible on Netflix, and I watch AEW when I can, but I certainly don't watch it as much. But a common trend or feedback, whether it be from WWE fans or specifically AEW fans, on many occasions, is just make it make sense.
Yeah. And make it make sense in the weird, messed up world of pro logic or pro wrestling.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I said that wrong, but
it's a weird thing, but there's still a way to make it make sense, right?
It's still a thing in that world that it can make sense.
And just one quick thing: the fact that Don Callis has this feud with Ospreay and Hangman, you have a defined line. Hangman and Ospreay are the faces. Everybody's cheering. Why can't you do that the entire program? I don't understand. Everybody hates the Don Callis family. Everybody's booing those guys. Like, why do you divert from that? Like, you have a game plan. You see how that works. Those two are getting over like crazy. But now we have to muddy the waters with who the tag champions now? The Hurt Business.
Hurt Business.
I don't know who Hurt Syndicate.
Hurt Syndicate, sorry.
And I don't know what they are. I don't know the heels, their fate. I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
I have opinions on that, but that's maybe a conversation for another
time. We may have just got the best comment. We're ready to take it home because Ray just said it. If we're so wrong, why do they run straight heel and face? And it's so fun to watch. To Ray's point, they do it, but they don't do it for the entire 2 hours. you'll get this much time of, I hate this guy, but I love that guy. And then the rest of it is, maybe I love him, maybe I hate him. I don't know. It's weird to me, man. It's weird to me. Let me get some comments up here before I get smacked. Let's see. Chris says it's still real to me. It's a great comment.
Damn it.
Yep. What's up, Davey? Good to see you, my friend. Sandy says Seth is heel. Are we sure Seth is heel, though, Sandy? I mean, I guess.
So. Not yet.
No,
not yet. I don't think there's been a clear, you can now boo this guy kind of thing.
Robbie, I won't leave your comment up too long because we're choking Troy here. Robbie's suggesting the Miz feuds with Cody. Look, I like Miz, but that wouldn't do Miz any favors. It would do Miz favors to the point of he's rubbing elbows with the champ, Ray, but Cody ain't losing that belt to the Miz, man.
Yeah,
nah. The Miz doesn't also need it. The Miz is a 2-time Grand Slam champion. He doesn't need that anymore. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. Feuding with that odd group. I forgot the name of that group too.
Oh,
is he the Six?
The Wyatt Six?
No, the other group.
What they called? The Authors of Pain, but not Authors of Pain.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they're called.
Yeah.
Pages of Rage or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Pages of Rage.
Rages of Rage.
The Rage page.
Rage Against the Machine.
I love it. Gerald, good to see you, my friend. Jim says that's just because fans want to chant "whoa, whoa, whoa." That's all. It has nothing to do with Seth. Maybe, maybe not. But Seth's an entertaining guy. And guys, there's another part of this we haven't talked about. The moment a heel becomes insanely entertaining, his days are numbered as a heel because the fans will start popping. Broken Matt Hardy could not stay heel forever. Because if you remember the Broken Matt Hardy stuff, the first time we all saw it, we went, what has happened? Is Matt crazy? What is this? And then within 3 months, we're going, all right, this might actually be genius. Like, I'm not sure, but man, this is starting to get fun. And then he got over. Crazy.
Oh, I just remembered Cross's faction name. I just had to look it up. The Final Testament.
The Final Testament. Is
I
that
still
before
think-
the New or Old Testament?
I still think Pages of Rage is better, but
I still enjoy Authors of Pain, but not really. I think we should call him that, but not anymore. Here's another one that's decisively heel and face. Trish and Lita, which this one flipped at one time too, did it not?
100%.
They flipped sides, but what made it work still made it work because they had chemistry. So at the bottom line, guys, really is that if you have chemistry, you can be on either side and the feud still get over. Is this the greatest feud in women's wrestling, Troy?
I'd probably say so. I can't. I'm trying to think of like anything. I don't know. When I say current, like the four horsewomen sort of thing. I'm not sure anything that any of those four did was on this level. I think no. I think this tops it. I genuinely do.
Yeah. What do you think, Ray?
I agree. That was probably the best female feud I've ever seen. So many angles, great matches, and there was a definitive fine line. Trish was heel, she stayed heel. Lita was face, she stayed face, and they had an insane program.
Yeah, Jim pointed out Becky and Charlotte. It's a good pick.
Yeah, that is a good pick.
Way back second, far behind second. I agree.
Yeah, it's a long distance second.
Do you know what was also cool? Like with the whole Lita and Trish thing was, like they had their one-on-one feuds, but they were also involved in other angles. Like Lita obviously with the Hardy Boys, Trish like for a time like with the APA and everything like that. Like it was just they had all these other things going on there, but then whenever they came together and it was a one-on-one, it was like that was the sole thread of story, and it was it's a difficult kind of art. Like I guess like juggling those two. You know, you've got these storylines of other people, but then those two always coming together and having that chemistry, regardless of anything else that they're involved in. Yeah, I don't think anything comes close to that.
Well, guys, I think there's a reason that we see in every good company that knows how to book that we see like the Red Hot Star, they will attach people to him like satellites. You know what I mean? In order that he can have a presence throughout the show, but they're not, watering him down by bringing him out every segment. but he's still, his name's being mentioned. You're hearing his name. Other people are attached to him. He's your top guy. And then other people can get the rub and get over whether or not they're working him or not. So that's a good point, Troy. The fact that other people can be attached, they can be doing other things, but then he can come out and work whoever the heel is or vice versa. And it makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. Chris, thanks for hanging out, brother. Let's record again real soon, man. Here's another one. I didn't want to flip past the ladies too quick. Tanahashi and Okada, another great example of this guy's heel and this guy's face. Like, look, kids, for everybody out there having heartburn over, Okada being a smart mouth, being a jerk, you evidently didn't see him with the pink hair when he first came back and challenged Tanahashi, because that's the guy that challenged Tanahashi, Troy, as you know. Like, that was the guy. And he may be more amped up now with the language and whatnot, right? But because he's learning some English. But man, there was no doubt at the time, guys. Okada is your babyface. Okada is your champion, your hero, your once in a lifetime, your once in a generation star, right? And here comes Kaki Okada, that on the first night beats him for the championship. To this day, if you go watch that match, Ray, I think I had you watch that match.
Yeah, you made me watch it. It's out of this world.
That crowd was like, oh, they were stunned.
You could hear a pin drop.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It made impact. It worked. It got over.
My God.
Yeah.
The reaction was insane.
Yes, and another example of, dude, they didn't start cheering for Okada after that. It took some time. Like, again, he was the heel, man. It worked. I mean, Troy, without going down the road of Japanese rivalries that date back since the 70s, I mean, this has got to be one.
Doesn't go back that far.
I was going to say, this has got to be one of the best of all time in that country, in that company, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think. I don't think anything's come close to it. I don't know. We had that run of Osprey Omega matches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I think in terms of kind of shock and awe, as you say, where it's just like, oh, hang on, he's beaten him, he's won the belt, and yeah, I don't think anything's come near that at all.
Crazy. Yeah, very thoroughly entertaining stuff. Sugar Shane, Bill Superstar Dundee versus Jerry the King Lawler. Great call. Yes. They were both faces and heels. It was magic when they fought. That's the reason why we need a face versus heel. And they could switch at any time they needed to. But Shane, to your point, and guys, I bring this in too, like them switching at the same time is possible. We've seen it happen. We pointed it out earlier. But I think that's the exception rather than the norm, isn't it? Like Brett versus Austin, a double turn, and technically, but that doesn't happen all the time. The planets have to align in the right direction, Troy, don't they, for that to happen?
Yeah, I can't think of many times that's happened. Like, there was, what was it with Becky when she just kind of the man gimmick when she got her nose kind of bust up, and that was kind of a, oh, hang on, we're onto something here, and we didn't mean this. And yes, a double turn's kind of like a scripted sort of thing, but that kind of like flip it on its head kind of thing. I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to think of. In fact, I was talking to someone about it the other day. The Rock and Hogan match at Mania, where it was like, oh, hang on, crowd aren't reacting as we kind of thought they were, and it was that kind of, right, we need to do something about this. But
had to go inaudible.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I like in terms of like that double turn, like I don't remember many as good as Austin and Brett in that situation.
I mean, I've never been a Hogan guy, but I will admit, watching in real time when he faced The Rock and that happened, still wasn't a Hogan guy, but I was thoroughly impressed and felt like, man, this is something special. Like, I don't know how to label this, but this is insane. So, like, I still appreciated it, even though I wasn't his guy, right? He wasn't my guy, right?
Yeah.
But I can still appreciate
it now, right?
What's that?
He gets over with the crowd now, right?
Oh, it's so over. It's crazy. They love him.
Love him. The cheers he gets.
The cheers, deafening. Dudes ripping their shirts off in the crowd, like he does. And
oh my God, everybody standing up applauding.
Stop.
You know what's worse than the worst part of this whole thing is he's doubling down on, it's not I didn't do nothing wrong. It's them. It's the crowd. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, dude, you suck, man. People don't want you around for a lot of reasons. Go away, dude. Like, I don't wish you ill, but you wished other people ill, so whatever. But I don't need you on my TV. I don't know, man. I don't need you on my TV. Anyway,
I said what I was supposed to say. I don't know why they're booing me. I have no idea.
yeah, I don't get it. I'm Hogan, brother.
They're saying boo earns.
Ray wanted to throw this one up. I thought it was an interesting choice. Ray, tell me why you feel Cena versus Batista, straight heel, straight face, why that worked for you.
It worked for me because Batista was like, you need those fans to cheer you. I don't care if these fans cheer me or boo me. He pushed the heat level to another level to make sure that they weren't going to cheer him. And Cena was always like, look, I'm going to stand by these fans no matter what. And he was like the lily white baby face. He was just that guy, and he's still to this day. And Batista was like, I don't need this. I don't need you guys. I don't need this company. He was just like, at that point, he was probably almost done. But you could definitely tell there was a definitive line.
Wasn't that the gimmick where he had the folding chair in the ring? He was sitting in the ring talking about he was done.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Batista? Yeah, that's right.
But that was the point where he had the bodyguards there, and he's like, these are not for me. They're for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great heel.
Sandy with another good point. Ray versus Batista.
Yep.
When they lost that tag match and he put his arm around him and he's out of breath and Batista's gassed. He is blown up, right? He's trying to get his words out and he's like, Ray, I'm going to rip your head off. And Ray, you can hear that crowd go, oh. And Ray's like, no, man, don't do that. Dude, he had him by the throat. Ray's going, Dave, please, man. Please don't. I'm like, oh, my God, I feel this so much. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So good.
Call, Sandy. Very good.
So good. I mean, look, I don't think that's too much to ask for. I don't think I'm being unreasonable. I don't need to think Heyman's cool. If I need to hate him, I'll hate him. Let me hate him. Make him do things that make me hate him. I don't need to see him button up against another heel. I don't need that personally. I need him destroying baby faces. There's just a lot of weird stuff in that company that I don't understand that they do. And I'm like, either I'm behind the times and this stuff's passing me by, or you guys don't know how to book, or maybe it's both. I don't know, man.
They do know how to book. They just don't do it consistently.
Consistently. That's a good word.
That's always the case. Consistency.
Yeah.
You can get something right, in a short time span, but it's sticking with that. It's like, oh, we've struck gold here.
Yeah.
Or okay, we've hit a stride here, but it's like, okay, well, how do we keep that consistency and that momentum? That's the difficult thing.
What's the saying? Even a broken watch is right twice in one day.
Yeah.
Right. Fernando says Undertaker started as a monstrous heel. And the fans just started cheering him. Very true. That was a natural progression. And by the way, when they cheered him, what did the company do? They turned him face.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I'm just saying, there's something to be said for, did you guys hear the fans? Maybe we should just do that turn we were talking about. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, man.
I know. They did the same with The Rock, though, didn't they? Like, The Rock was booed out, the Rocky Maivia, like the blue chipper, like, was booed out the building, and then had him join the Nation, a heel faction, and then had him, hang on, he's got a voice, give him a microphone, make him the leader. He then becomes a standout, and it was just like, okay, he's still antagonizing the crowd. Like, he's still being, like, a douchebag heel or whatever, but he's funny, and we gravitate towards him, so we're going to cheer him, even though you're telling us he's bad.
Yeah, that's a good pull. Yeah, for sure. And also, JP, I assume you mean Undisputed Kingdom, face or heel? They cannot make up their mind? AEW, man.
I mean, to be fair, like, no different when they're in NXT, like Undisputed Era. They were a heel faction.
Mm-hmm.
I've got an Undisputed Era glass in the cupboard up there in my kitchen. They were cool, but they were heels, and it was cool to like them.
And at no time, he may have done the Adam Cole baby and stuff, but that's the cocky heel move. That's not,
exactly.
Hey, you guys do my stuff with me.
That's not a Jey Uso yeet thing. That's a, no, I'm better than you kind of, yeah.
Yes. This promo is going back a ways. We're talking about a few years. But Owens was in the ring cutting a promo on somebody, can't remember who. And they started chanting his name or something in the middle of the promo. He stops. He stops and looks at the crowd and says, "What makes you think I want you to do that? Like, I don't need that. You're interrupting me. Save your garbage. I'm not, you know what I mean?" I'm like, we need more heels. Like, again, I'm not trying to crap on Hangman, but Hangman he'll hit a move and he'll turn around the crowd. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Don't pander to them.
Don't pander to the crowd.
Yeah.
Preach.
Oh my goodness.
Preach.
Dude, I don't get that.
And don't put him in the ring with another heel. Exactly.
Don't put him in the ring with another heel.
MJF didn't have to be there. You didn't have to come in at that specific time. Attack Will Ospreay. Attack a bona fide face that everybody's established as a face.
And by the way,
it's going to get you over more as a heel.
Yes.
Not attack a guy that's just as bad as you. Like who's getting the rub in that situation? Who's coming out best in that situation?
Right.
Exactly. If he starts a feud with MJF, that's going to be brutal.
I mean,
I don't know who to root for. I don't know.
Like with anything else, it needs to make sense in that world. And anytime you book anybody against anybody, the question should always be, what good comes of this? What is the point of this? If the point is we need matches, well, then that's not a card, in my opinion. Again, I didn't just get $185 million, so maybe I'm full of crap. And I may never talk about this topic again because I suddenly feel like I'm the old man shaking his fist at the cloud because it's going to rain. Maybe I'm out of touch, man. Maybe I'm out of touch. I don't know. Yeah, I don't get it. And by the way, I am about 20 minutes away from starting to like Max Caster. If they keep this up, right? He's sitting there going, I'm just waiting my time. I've been sitting here for a long time, and I just want to know when I can come up here and talk. I'm like, if he keeps this up, I'm going to start cheering for this guy because this is fun. You know what I mean? I'm going to start liking him. Which flies in the face of me supposed to be booing heels. What happened to that, right?
If Holly Cameron brings out that puppet again, oh my God.
Holly Cameron is freaking awesome. Hey, we need more Holly Cameron, man. Just give her the whole show.
Give her the show. Fantastic. That puppet is out of, oh my goodness. She gets over like.
That friggin' puppet, man. Are you kidding?
Hysterical. And she does the voice really good. It's really good.
Oh, it's terrible, but it's awesome at the same time because she's so fun.
She's so funny with it. It's, oh my goodness.
She's so fun. So what's happening right now? Because I want us to touch a little bit before we get out of here, Dad. I'll touch a little bit about on current headlines. Troy, what's happening right now that's caught your attention, caught your eye? What is it that you're watching right now that maybe you can't wait to see? What are you anticipating? I know we got Grand Slam coming up next week too.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how, like, for me personally, I'm interested to see how they pad out the Elimination Chamber. I feel like with the Rumble felt like it was stacked, certainly on the men's side. I felt like there was a lot more story that went into that, and it felt wide open. I feel like the Elimination Chamber's in a similar situation where it's just like it could just be, an all-star kind of lineup, and it's not just, this guy's thrown in there for that reason. So I'm excited to see how the Elimination Chamber pads out. But yeah, as you say, Grand Slam coming up as well. It's in Australia this year, right?
Yeah,
it is.
Like, where do they go with the main event there? Like, there's a few talents in there from over the water from over Australia way. I think what you see kind of closing out that show. I don't know if it's been announced yet or not, but lots of Carl Fletcher on there and Buddy Matthews, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the hometown pop, or at least the home country pop for those guys there.
I would think it would be Mariah May and Tony as the main event.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah. We think, Ray.
Yeah, it's got to be Mariah May and her and Storm, because that's the feud of the year. Fantastic. Oh my God, Timeless is. I'm with Tom. You don't like Tony Storm. Something's wrong.
Something's wrong with you.
Something's wrong with you.
I don't like her because she shunned me for a picture once.
Did she?
Yeah, it was when she was still signed to WWE, and I was at the Rumble, and there was Tyler Bate and a few other guys and gals there, Kaylee Ray and whatnot. And she was in the picture, but looked like she absolutely didn't want to be in the picture. And like asked for a picture afterwards. We were all in a bar, and yeah, she just wasn't particularly nice, and so I've held a grudge since. However, her work in AEW has been exceptional. I'm just irked by the fact that she didn't smile in my picture.
Hey, look, remember, she wasn't always happy in the other company, so maybe she'll
This
get
is
a
true.
pass.
This is true.
Saying-
This is true.
Yeah.
By the way, when she came out dressed as Mariah May,
Had
I'm
me
just-
convinced for
I'm
a
not
hot
gonna-
second.
we're going to keep this show PG, but dude, okay.
Dude,
I mean, she
Dude.
can pretend to be anybody she wants to. That's fine with me. I don't
fine
care.
with me. I was not mad.
Woo.
Oh,
Oh,
my
man.
goodness.
Yeah. Well, she's freaking great. Like,
Oh my, just
uh,
yeah.
freaking great, man. That was,
Is Jay
and
White
I'm-
and Moxley the main event?
what's that now?
Jay White and Moxley and the tag team, Mox and Claudio gets Jay White and who's the other
Cope.
guy? And Cope. Yeah, can't
Cope.
call him Cope. That's just
Cope.
awful. Cope. I think that's the main event.
I'm going to
mean,
say something about
Shouldn't
Cope.
be, but
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't be.
shouldn't.
I got a comment about Cope, Troy.
Go on.
And this might be harsh,
Okay.
but my name's on the show, so I'm gonna take the liberty of
See what I want.
being harsh. I'm gonna speak my truth, as the kids say.
Preach.
All right. Uh,
Preach.
he's starting to look a little old to me, and he never did until recently. And I don't know why he is. It's not the way he moves. He's in great shape, but I'm like, man, I'm starting to feel like, yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, I love the guy, but
Hmm.
you know, this company's supposed to be about the next generation, and we're not the other company. We're something different. We're an alternative. And I'm like, man, I've never been that guy, kids, that has ever said, well, they shouldn't sign people who work for WWE. Get over yourselves. Guys should be able, and girls should be able to go and work wherever they want to work. I don't care about that. But for the first time recently, I'm like, man, I see age here. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, Ray, have you got something on
Yeah,
this?
he looks a little old in the tooth. I see it. I don't know how much. I don't know how longer he can cope.
Stop it.
Oh, that's not bad.
Oh man.
I don't know, dude. I see it too. It's in his face.
It's in his face. He's haggard. He's
Yeah,
very haggard.
Like it
Yeah.
looks like he's been through some stuff.
Yeah, he's been
I
through a
don't-
war or two. Yeah.
He's been through a war or two. I don't want to. I want to keep
I've
it
s-
PG, but he's
I've
been
s-
through some. He's been through some mess. Like,
I've seen some things, man, and some
I mean-
stuff.
In fairness to him, he's 51. Like,
but he's
you know,
51. You know what I mean? He's looking 51.
He had a tough paper round. I don't know. What can I tell you?
I mean, I happen to be, I'm saying, and I don't look haggard like Edge does.
No,
I'm
you
saying.
I would tell you, brother.
Are you wrestling 3-4 times a week?
I don't. That's not the point. The point here is
That's
that
not fire for you.
he's not haggard. He's Merle Haggard at this point. All right. Tom is svelte. Look at me, like untouched by forces of nature. Father Time got nothing on me. I don't know.
Jared's
Um,
looking at him, and he looks better.
Jericho kind of looks better. I mean, and that's not really a great compliment.
It's
Like,
not a good. Yeah.
I don't know. Look, I'm not trying to poke fun. If I got a chance to interview Cope, I would be, that'd be great. And so I'm not trying to ditch on the guy, and it's nothing personal. I just, you know what, guys, it may not even be that I'm talking about him per se. It's just that I thought this company was going to be, we're going to go with the next gen. Darby's our guy. Orange is our guy. We did that for a while, and then now it's, I don't know if we're doing that.
That's because they allowed Darby to go and climb Everest.
dude.
He's off doing his own thing.
Dude. Man.
That's wild.
Crazy.
I mean, fair play. I wouldn't be in a hurry to climb it, but
I'm not
I
doing
don't
it.
know, man. Like if, like you said, like it's these are the guys who are kind of building the company around this, that, and the other. But it's like also we're going to let this guy go off and do just mad skateboarding stunts and climb mountains. You're like,
Yeah.
what if something happens there? What's your backup plan? What are you
What's
doing?
the backup plan? Yeah. Does he have life insurance through the company? And I hope he's safe. I don't want anything to happen to him.
Of course.
Of course.
Let's see here. Sandy, thanks for hanging out, my friend. Appreciate you. What's up, Sarah? Sarah said, I wonder if the Hurricane Helene cleanup had anything to do with it. What are we talking about? We talking about Nashville? What are we talking about?
Elaborate.
I'm sorry if I missed your comment. I probably just missed the comment somewhere. We got to talking. Y'all had to start talking about Adam Copeland, and this is what happened. No, nobody. All right. Let's see. JP says Darby. Look, Orange disappeared as well. Do we have a status update on Orange? Is he doing something? Is he hurt?
Yeah, I haven't seen Orange in a minute.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I have no idea where he is.
I think on our podcast prediction, I can't remember if it was last year or this year. One of them, I'm sure I put down Orange to be AEW World Champion by the end of the year. I mean, if it was last year, it didn't happen. And if it's this year, where is he? I mean, yes, we're only in February, but I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. Like at one point, it seemed like you could feasibly see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just, again, another guy where it's like, you kind of felt he was almost one of the pillars there, one of the guys who are going to start to build stuff around. I'm like, oh, where's he gone? Like one of the most over guys in the company, like natural faces, and just what happened?
His 2024 was fantastic. Remember, he was the workhorse champion and never took a day off. And because there have been other guys who have done that. Because I think I maybe compare him to Allen Iverson at one point. Because during the course of the season, Iverson took so much damage, and he would have everything on his body was taped by the end of the season, and he had so many sleeves on, it was crazy. But he never stayed out. You couldn't keep him out. You had to kill that guy. So like Darby was not Darby, but Orange kind of the same way. Sarah clarifies she was talking about Cope. I read he helped with the cleanup while healing from his injury. Good for him, man. Yeah. By the way, for the record, I'm not trying to crap on the guy. You know we don't do that here.
The years seem to be catching up with him.
The years seem to be catching, but they're catching up to a lot of us.
Yeah.
If you think I don't have a filter on the StreamYard, you're out of your mind. Okay.
This is all natural light, no embellishments on the camera.
I may not be as svelte as I made out to be. So
it's because you've grown your hair out and the beard's thicker. That's why. It's fine.
Yeah.
You know what? I appreciate that.
There you go. I got you.
Troy, you're always first class, man. Look at you. Always looking the part. Rocking the boggin. I can't rock a boggin like you can, man. I can't. You know what I mean? Well, look, we're not going to keep everybody forever here today. We're at the hour 10 mark. Before we wind up, guys, is there a point, Troy, I'll start with you. Do you think we'll reach a point where it just won't matter about the good and bad? I don't think it'll ever just go away. I don't think it can just go away. That's half the fun of going to a show, right?
No, I don't think we get to a point of that. I think we've reached a point now where it's like, yes, fans will cheer for whoever they want, regardless of how they're presented. But you always have to have that heel face dynamic. You're always going to have one person push more than another as one or the other. I think we'll probably see less of that kind of tweener role, which we've had before. I think it would just be more this or that. But as I said earlier, like it's theatre, it's pantomime. There has to be a hero. There has to be a villain. And I think regardless of how much fans pander or cheer to one or the other, you're always going to have that. That's what makes it entertaining. You want to see the bad guy or gal get their comeuppance. You want to see the hero reach the top of the mountain. So, yeah.
I was on mute. My apologies.
I was going to say, you did like a ventriloquist. I couldn't hear anything.
I was about to go, Ray, why are you not talking? Like grit my teeth and stuff. Ray, what do you think? Are you with Troy on this?
I'm with. I think at the end, if you're really going to be successful in the company and you really want to be successful in merchandising and selling, you have to have a face and a heel. There's going to be those fine lines, but when you see the merch and the popularity of Jey Uso, he's such a defined face, and you see how it works. He's extremely successful. Every little kid on the planet has got the glasses, wearing the shirt. When Cena was at his peak, everybody had the shirt. Everybody was doing this. Loved him. He was the face. It works. And when AEW does it with the Don Callis family, who's the heel faction, it works. But AEW says, oh, you know what? It works, but we're going to try something else. Let's have Hangman bump into MJF and have two heels just go like this for no reason.
And it's not just him, guys, but Jay White, who's the king. Like, all due respect to Minoru Suzuki, I love Jay White. He's freaking awesome. On no planet is Jay White your lovable babyface hero. He's going to betray Copeland.
Little rat. And we're always in the best way possible. But
he's Loki. He's Loki, man. He's
exactly
right. He's the Loki of AEW. When Copeland turns his back, he's going to shiv him in the ribs, and that's going to be the end of it.
Oh, there's such a turn coming. Oh my goodness.
He's gonna, dude. And Jay I think,
White?
Dude,
New Japan Jay White.
New Japan Jay White is another level.
That's
okay,
a level of heat.
Prime Jay White,
dude. That's another. That's another level. Ray, I think you got the second best comment of the show when you brought up merchandise. Why did we hear for years that they refused to turn John Cena? They were terrified of what would happen to the merch sales. We heard that forever. We've always heard that about baby faces. So I'm like, you can't tell me it doesn't matter. I'll never believe you. Whether people will admit it or not, it matters to them subconsciously even. I want to wear the good guy's shirt. Okay. I'm just saying, yes, you're right about the NWO shirt, Troy. That thing sold like wildfire, right? But again, for the biggest company in the world to not want to turn a baby face because they're terrified of what'll happen to the merch, I think that's a comment. I think that's a statement, not just by them, but on the business and the fans in general, in my opinion, is that you can't just, well, it doesn't matter. Now we don't care. No, you have to care on some level. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, kids, that's what we've got for you. That's an hour and some change. We're going to let Troy get some sleep if he'd like to, and we're going to get to our weekend here. So before we go anywhere, Troy, thanks so much for jumping on board, man.
Thank you for having me on, man. It's been a while. It's always good to come and chew the fat and put the wrestling world to rights. And Ray, it's good to actually to get on something with you, man. Real good.
Awesome, dude. It's really good to see you, brother.
Yeah, and you too, man. Thank you.
Before we go, Troy, tell the people where they can find you on the internets.
Untitled Wrestling Podcast. We're on just about every social media outlet, either at Untitled Wrestling Podcast or Untitled Res Pod. So it's Instagram, Twitter, or X if you prefer. Instagram.
I prefer Twitter. I don't prefer it at all, to be honest.
Well, yeah, there's that. Facebook, Blue Sky, YouTube, I don't know, MSN Messenger, if that's still a thing, whatever.
AOL?
AOL, sure.
Instant Messenger, yeah. Ray, what about you, man?
Yeah, you can catch me every Wednesday with my partner, Majestic Marie. We do the tailgate party, the AEW preview for Wednesday nights. We're on a 4:30, and we just chew the fat, go over the matches, and it's a good show. You guys should check it out.
And by the way, spoiler alert, it's not, why would I say spoiler alert? It's what's happening when you live and breathe pro wrestling all the time. But 1 week from today, fun announcement time, a special edition of the main event. We're going to have Marie and Ray back here. We're going to preview AEW Grand Slam. It's going to be a combo show between Peaches and Power Bombs. Ray, remind me of the title of the show. My apologies.
The tailgate party.
Tailgate. Why is that so hard?
I don't know.
Maybe I'm more haggard than I let on, right?
Maybe you're not coping.
Maybe I'm not coping at all. Cope somewhere with a pin cushion. He's sticking a needle in my head. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'll show him. Yeah. Right. All right, kids. That's what we got for you. Ray and Troy, don't go anywhere. I appreciate you guys very much hanging out. All right, guys. That is. I'll take myself off screen too. Good night, kids. Look, did you see that? It's been a long week, baby. I don't know what more to tell you. Troy, quit laughing. It's been a long week. I had someone the other day go, do you sleep? Do you ever sleep? Because I'd messaged that person at like 3 a.m. and then back again at 8 the next morning or whatever time it was. And I'm like, I'll sleep when I'm dead, right? As I said, I'm in my prime. I got a lot of the steam left. I'm going to work till I can't work no more or something like that. So, look, kids, it's been great hanging out with you. Thanks, everybody, for being patient. We tried to get to the comments as much as we could today. Whenever we have guests on, it's a little bit more challenging, but we appreciate everybody being patient. I dropped the link in the chat for the review for Tom Clark's main event. If you guys have not left a review, I'm going to drop that sucker one more time. So you guys can do that. That would mean loads to me. Here she is. Please take a gander at that. If you would, that would be great. Before we go, really quickly, I'd like to remind you kids about boinkstudios.com, about everything you can find there on that particular little website. All the links to the main event, the 6M podcast and Two Nations Under Ted, as well as to my co-stars here today. Their links are there as well. And we promote each other's shows as often as we can. And we try to do like a little brotherhood / sisterhood here for the shows. And just a reminder, I haven't made this statement publicly, but I'll say it here because I'm feeling a certain kind of way. And me and he's Roy now. Me and Ray got into a couple of conversations before we went live today about certain things. So for the record, let me say here today, Tom Clark's Main Event is an all-inclusive pro wrestling podcast. Okay? I don't care what your nationality is. Doesn't matter to me what your skin color is. What your persuasion is. Doesn't matter to me what your personal life is. All are welcome at my show. We don't discriminate and we don't hate. Okay? I might be a white guy, but I make my content for a whole lot more people than just look like me. Okay? So everybody's welcome, unless you got hate in your heart, in which case, get out of my show. All right? But to everybody else, always more than welcome. I felt the need to say that. Sometimes I get full of myself and I feel the need to platform. That was my bit of platforming. You can't stop me. Again, my name's on the show. So there you go. All right, kids, thanks again for hanging out. I appreciate you very much. We're going to get out of here. Everybody have a great weekend. Tune back in next Friday with us. We'll be talking about AEW Grand Slam Australia. It'll be a fun time to be had by all, and you will not want to miss it. I promise you. Let me find the right button. I found the button. Sometimes these menus can get involved. Thanks a lot, kids. We appreciate your time. See you next week. Have a great weekend. Thanks, kids.